I wouldn't say I'm doing this to leave a legacy. I do this because I enjoy it. I do this like I said, at the end of the day, like you're able for this, like you're able to make people feel certain emotions, and you're able to make people feel related to, right? Because at the end of the day, that's why we all make music. That's why we all listen to music. It relates to what we're going through, and it relates to what the person was going through when they made this shit. At Like I said, when I pulled that lyric, that dude really felt like, damn, why am I even doing this shit? The outcome of my income is that the dough isn't coming. And that's how artists feel all the time, is that like, man, this shit's not good enough to make me money. Why the fuck am I doing it?
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself. He's been doing a lot of great work lately, so go ahead, man.
What is up? Sad Boy Radio, and this is Stevensjpeg, also known as Steven Nunez. I'm a photographer.
A photographer, damn. But go ahead, talk about what you've been doing lately, bro.
Okay, yeah. So like, I did Summer Smash last weekend. I was working on the media team, so I did a lot of good photos of a lot of good artists. Like Post Malone, Uzi, and Cardi. Cardi actually posted my pic too, but I didn't even realize it. I'm sorry, we're going off topic, but
you just put who reposted your shit recently?
Cardi, cause like I didn't know that like he has like a Finsta account.
Really?
Yeah. But it's called like Opium, and then like people were sending it to me, but I was like, it's like a fan page, but they were like, no, like this him, and I was like, oh, and then if you Google it, like it's like his page, but I think it's just so crazy.
That's honestly dope, and it's crazy that like you're so young being able to do that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna really get into that right now. Before we get into it, guys, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of good shit coming, and he's the most famous photographer out here, bro. Fucking did Sueños, Lollapalooza, Summer Smash, and this isn't his first year. So make sure you guys check it out. All right, let's get into it, right, man? I wanted to start off by, how did you even get into doing all this photography shit? You started, I know, when I did my research, you've been doing it for like, I don't know, since 2015, maybe a little bit later. So go ahead and talk about it a little bit.
I got into photography because I always wanted to do like music photography, because I, like you did your research, right? Like I was always going to concerts when I was like in high school and stuff like that. But basically, like I started doing photography, and then in high school, like my journalism teacher gave me the key. She was like, you need to go to like a college and get a work for their newspaper to get that press pass to get into shows, because I worked for my high school newspaper, right? And I was emailing all these people that trying to get into shows. They all shut me down. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm definitely waiting till I go to college. Like, and I knew, like, I was going to go to Columbia and, like, get work for the Chronicle. And then, I got there, and then I used that, and I just ran it up. Like, I was getting into, like, a decent amount of shows, and that's kind of how I did it, like, just through press. Like, that was the, like, main key. Like, and I would advise that to anyone who wants to get into music photography. Like, work for a publication, especially if you're in college. Like, definitely do college publications.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of run through that process a little bit, because obviously there's a lot of people that would love to do that, but we don't necessarily know the steps to get there.
Yeah. But just for like my own story, I would say, like, if you're like young like me in college, like you definitely want to work for, like, I think every school has like a publication, like DePaul, I think, Columbia's, the Chronicle. But basically, in the music industry, like, press matters. Like, college press matters, because think about it, like, people our age, we're all listening to music, and then they want to push their artists. So basically, featuring their artists in, like, your newspaper, on your Instagram, and all that kind of stuff helps build that image. It's like, promo in a way. So all that stuff, like, matters. I soon realized that as I was, like, going along with it. But that's the way to go. Like if you're looking for an outlet, like, definitely.
Damn, that's dope as fuck. And honestly, like, even me personally, I think about that shit. It's like, okay, what steps do I need to take to even get that backstage to pass, to be able to go backstage and interview these artists? Because that's kind of like the next step, right? Because we can bring as many people as we want here, but sometimes you got to go to them, especially when they're the next level artists. You got to create that, connection. For you, what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far doing this photography shit?
The biggest lesson I've learned is that there's just so much competition, and like that this is like definitely one of the hardest industries to like be successful in. Isn't like yeah, I'm like doing these shows and getting this content out, but getting paid for it and making a living off of that, doing that full time, is a whole other topic. So I just graduated college. I officially like got my LLC, like, you know, it's officially a business, like Stevensjpeg. And then now I'm just trying to go 100% in, you know, getting paid for like all my work, for all the shows that I do, and then like trying to go on tour and like help work with artists and build their, you know, brand images and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking like that's like a lesson that I've learned. It's just like how hard it is, because I mean, I knew it when I got in it, right? But that's just like a hard lesson. It's just like getting paid for it.
That's where our topic comes in today, right? You know, do I have what it takes? And that's really the thought that runs through a lot of people's minds when it comes to doing any type of artistry. It's like there's those nights where you don't really know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if this is still the career that you can even achieve, right? And for you, how do you even deal with that?
Yeah, I actually think every day, like, I'm like, is this really going to work? I mean, I do put in the work and, like, trying to make things happen, but, like, every month is, like, more of, like, a mystery. Because usually, like, in the beginning of the month, I kind of get, like, a decent amount of gigs set, and then, like, I kind of get some more in here and there. But, like, every like, month is, like, a mystery. It's, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I just graduated school, so now I'm kind of, like I'm just, like, free. Like, I have nothing, like, no school, no nothing. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, now I get fully go 100% with my work, so I'm just really feeling it out these past couple of months, but yeah.
100% feel you on that, because when I graduated in December. I graduated early, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm going to not go to grad school because I want to take that next step and I want to figure out what I need to do. And that's still one of those things that you're not really trained to do, right? There's no one provides a guide on like, okay, this is how you get to the next level. And it's kind of just consistency. Consistency is key. And that's what a lot of people tell me is like, you know, you're consistent with your fucking, I can't even talk. I can't even think. You're consistent with your product, right? You're consistent with your output. And that's what matters, because that's what people are going to see at the end of the day. And I fell into a rut recently where it was kind of like I wasn't putting out enough content. I wasn't putting out the content I needed or wanted. And to me, it felt like I was falling behind.
Yeah, I felt like that too.
But in reality, you're the only person that really has those expectations of yourself. It's not like anybody's waiting on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For you, how has this early success impacted you? Because, you know, you're young. You're 22 years old. You worked for Sueños. You worked for Summer Smash. You were privately hired by DJ Miriam.
Starting it at like 18, I remember my first show at the Metro right there by Wrigley Field. And I was talking to this guy, and he was telling me, he's like, man, like, I really wish, like, I started, like, when I was 18 years old. And I was like, wait, well, how old are you? He was like 28. And I was thinking to myself, too, like, yeah, I wouldn't even know how I would feel if I were to start at the same time as him. I'm like, but just, like, I think, like, the sooner you start, the better, because then you would just know if, like, of how, like, how it'll work out for you, or, like, if it's, like, really meant for you. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I just think that, you know, like, doing it in the beginning, it just felt like, it felt cool and all. Like, it was great. Everything was so exciting and, like, great, and I was making great work. But, like, throughout the years, it's like you got to think of it, like, now it's like, okay, like, now this is a business. Like, now this is, like, work. Like, this is not all fun and games anymore. Like, because I am passionate. I love doing my work. But I got to, you know, put food on the table. I got to, you know, take care of myself. I'm literally on my own now. So it's, like, a lot to think about, you know?
Mm-hmm. And when did it take a turn for you?
I'd say it really took a turn for me in the pandemic, because I, like, you know, shows were gone for like a year, right? And I had so much going on at the time. Like I was getting shows in like every week. I was doing all kinds of projects and all that kind of stuff. And then boom, just imagine like in one day it's all gone. Mm-hmm. And you're just thinking like, man, like, and you know, in the pandemic, like in the beginning, like no one didn't know what was going on. So I really felt like everything was over. I felt like, you know, I had to take a different path. Like I literally was like working at Culver's and like being a pizza delivery driver at Domino's, and then ended up working at a Japanese grocery store for like a whole year.
Damn.
And then like I literally thought things were over. Like I just felt so lost. And then during that one summer in 2021, like I haven't done anything. I wasn't doing no shows, nothing. I was really done. Like I thought it was over. And then I got an email from Rolling Stone to do Lala. And I felt like, I don't know, like God reaching a hand out to you, being like, pulling you back in. I said, yeah, right away. I did it. And I was like, yeah, like we're still doing this. Like we're back in business. Like we're going to keep going. And then Yeah, but like that's how it was, like feeling lost and all that kind of stuff.
That's fucking crazy.
It was so crazy. Like if it wasn't for like them, like I would probably still be. I wouldn't even be here.
For you, like being contacted by that big of a name, right?
Yeah.
Especially like I said, being so young. What was that feeling like?
I asked them too. Like when I met up with them at Lala, I was like, hey, like I'm 21. Like, am I the youngest person that's ever like worked for you guys? And they're like, no, you're the second. I was like, damn. But I mean, it wasn't like a thing for me to be like the number one. Not me to be the first.
Well, shit,
but, yeah,
second.
The second, like, it's still cool. But like, I think it's crazy how like they don't consider like how old you are based on like like how like some industries are, like they won't hire you or won't like take you seriously just based on like what age you are. But if you make great work, that's all that matters, Then if you are like show that you are a professional, like they'll take you serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. Especially just like I said, when it's that big of a name. And personally, even me, I felt like that, where it's like, I remember when I turned 22, I was like, damn, like all this shit I've done, all these accomplishments I have, it felt like it meant nothing because I wasn't 21 anymore.
Yeah. Low key, I was just saying that too. Yeah.
When you're young, it's like, when you introduce yourself to people and then they ask you your age, you're like, oh, I'm 21, and they're like, you're 21, like young as fuck. And then like you say 22, and it's not the same. It's not the same reaction. But I sit here and I think, and I'm like, you know what, like to be doing all this shit still at 22. The only difference is you're so much closer to adulthood because you just graduate, that it's like, damn, like I gotta actually start making money and I gotta make a career out of this. Otherwise, people are just gonna look at me like a fucking bum because I do art.
Yes, bro. You hit it right on the dot. Because that's why I'm so serious now about like my work and everything like that. Because all these accomplishments I've done, like since from 18 to like 21, it's like, oh my god. But now it should not be like that anymore. Like this is just what I do. I'm always gonna be doing great projects, cranking out great photos, doing big things, and then it just is what it is. I'm not gonna like hold on to every single thing that I've done and be like, just like always like, brag about that. Like I'm gonna just keep doing more and more and more and more and more for as long as I can. Like I'm really gonna ride this thing to like the ground. Like you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I totally get that, because now like when you tell people how old you are, like they expect you to like already be like the way you are.
And like when you have those surreal moments, like there's definitely those artists that you work with that you're like, damn, I really never thought I'd fucking work with them. I don't know, do you have the chance to meet them most of the time?
Yeah. Anyone that I was like surreal with, I don't think anybody, to be honest. I'm being dead serious. Like I don't get me wrong. Like I love like everyone's music like that. Like I've shot, like I've listened to them and stuff like that. But like I don't like geek out over anyone. I just think that like I don't know. Like I said, like I mean truthfully, like I really feel like I'm meant to be in this industry and do it. So like I always keep it a professional, whatever. But like I don't even say too much either when I pass by them. Sometimes I ask for a picture if I have opportunity. But anyone that I geeked out of, I was like, oh my god, nah.
I mean, the thing is you gotta look at it as business, and you also gotta look at them as just people, bro. Like that's the main thing. And that's what I tell people all the time is like, you could be the biggest star, and if you're in this room with me, bro, I'm gonna treat you like a fucking person, because that's what this conversation is for. Is to break down that barrier of just, you're not, you're this fucking star, but it's also like you're this person first.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like it's still cool to be able to sit down and be like, yo, I had a conversation with this artist, or damn, I shot this dope ass picture for this artist.
I mean, because for me, like I'm behind the scenes or I'm in the pit, but you're not seen as a guy that really has a chance to say anything or like make conversation, because you're just snapping photos. So it's really hard to get the opportunity to like say something or speak. But I mean, it's not a big deal. I like taking pictures.
Let's take it back, right? A lot of the times people view this industry as like you're an overnight success. Like this shit just happened one day and you were put in this position because you got lucky. And at the end of the day, like that's not the situation. The situation is it took a lot of work. It took a lot of long nights for me to just keep on grinding and keep on putting in the work. And that's what people don't see. For you, what was that like?
Well, I remember like when things started, when I first started getting into music photography, I was doing shows and stuff like that, and I met a couple of people from like my high school and stuff like that. Some people kind of assumed that this stuff was just given to me. Like I didn't set that path out on my own to try to get access to these places and do these shows and stuff like that. People think that like I just like all this stuff was like given to me because like like maybe like they might have thought like, oh, I'm because I know a guy and like, I didn't know anyone, when I got into this. I kind of just put myself out there. I'm just like, hey, I'm Steven. I want to take pictures like artists. Like I want to do music photography. So that's kind of how it worked. But yeah, like I just think that like it's kind of this stuff is like is pretty mysterious if you think about like how people would get the chances to be backstage and like shoot artists and all that kind of stuff. So
Why do you say mysterious?
not mysterious, but I mean, because think about it, it's like if you're like behind the scenes, like taking pictures of these artists, like like it's not something that anyone could do. You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it is to like work for like a media team or like work as someone's personal photographer or just like work for a publication that can get you like that kind of access and stuff like that. It's like really like complicated. Even like the people that you talk to like in like the industry, like they wouldn't really. Like, some people, like, gatekeep. Like, they don't really, like, tell you, like, how they get around or all that kind of stuff. Some people even, like, sneak in stuff. And, like, I'm not about that stuff.
I was just talking to somebody about that before I got here, and it was mainly because, when I was getting into this, people weren't giving me the opportunity. They weren't telling me, like, yo, slide through to this place or slide through over here. We got this event. Just like I was telling you now, like, people see this shit, and now they're like, oh, like, him? Definitely tell him to come through right now. And that's a good feeling, but it's also the feeling of like people didn't see what happened before this. They didn't see the journey that it took. And a lyric that I took from my boy August Alsina, one of my favorite artists, right? He says, I know some days you feel like giving up, feel like time is running out and all you have is doubt. Trying to keep your head up, but you're fed up. Trying to stack your bread up. Like how come the outcome of my income isn't dough coming? And with that, it's like you're so frustrated at times, right? Because you're done. Like you don't want to keep doing this shit, and it's so much easier to feel like giving up is the answer because you want these results, right? You want these people to help you out, and they're not helping you out. They're not fucking handing you anything. And that's why I say that, when I meet new artists, they're telling me like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. Like, I got you. I definitely want to come on. They think this is some little shit that I've been doing for 2 weeks. And, yes, I need guests, right? But these artists specifically feel like I need them. I've had artists tell me, like, oh, you definitely need me. Or, oh, you definitely want me on. Like, bro, like, who are you to fucking tell me, like, what I need? It's also, I don't know if you've gotten this. You're a photographer. I'm sure you've run into people that are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and try to give you advice on what to do, but, like, they don't even do what you do.
That happened a lot while I was in school, photography classes and all that kind of stuff. Like, they were telling me, like, oh, you should take photos of this, like, you should go to this, you should do that, like, you should be talking to these people, this and that. But I'm like, they're talking to me like they know my field and, like, what I do when it comes to, from where I'm from, like, when I went to school in class, because, like, I would learn photography and stuff like that, but like when I try to argue like doing projects like for the work that I want to do and that I do, they never accepted it because they'd be like, oh, like music photography, like that's not a real field, like that's not how to show like your true craft, like your skills and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I didn't even argue. I'm just like, okay, bro. So like all through college, like I just kind of just did filler work just to get by, and I just really focused on doing my own thing. But they always try to tell me like what I should be doing and like critiquing like my work and then like saying like, oh, like anyone can do this, but I'm like, really? I'm like, then how come you're not doing it?
Was that like the professors or like other
Everybody.
students? Yeah.
Everybody. They're like, this just shows me you have a nice camera. I'm like, okay. I'd be saying okay. I'm like, all right. I'd be like, okay. Ain't no one worth arguing with, like when it comes to like my work or like just all that kind of stuff. Like I don't even waste a breath on that.
Especially because just like you said, it's something that you know how to do. Yeah. All right, if anybody can do it, you go do it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing when it comes to like doing shit like this. People will come and tell me like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and I'm like, bro, like, show me your credentials.
Yeah.
Show me what you've done.
Like people think like their opinions are valid, and when for things they don't even know about, it's like, ugh.
It's kind of like you just got to take it with a grain of salt at that point. It's like, all right, I appreciate what you're saying. I'll think about it. But sometimes when you hold on to somebody's opinion for too long and you value it too much, it gets into your head and you're like, all right, what can I change? What should I change? Do I even need to change this shit? And you know, the way that I've, you know, started to think about it is like, if people didn't give a fuck about what I'm doing, I wouldn't have any guests. I wouldn't have people that are like, yo, let me come on. Yo, let me be a co-host. Like, and that's the way I think about it. Like, you know, I just did the interview with King Nunez.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that, like, that shit was so dope. And I just feel like that built an even better relationship. And when people see that shit, they're going to be like, that shit was raw. That shit, yeah. So that's the way I think about it, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
For you, like, did those opinions ever get to you, and how did it impact you?
In school, none of those opinions mattered to me, bro. Because I knew none of them knew what they were talking about. Or, you know what I'm saying? They can't tell me that, like, my work isn't, like, you know, special, or it doesn't show, like, true craft or, like, a style or anything. Like, I didn't even want to listen to anyone at school. Like, I did not care.
Who's the one person's opinion that would fuck you up?
Nobody. Nobody. Like, bro, no one can tell me anything. I really feel like no one can tell me anything right now. Like, about, like, if someone told me, like, my work sucked, I'd be like, okay. Like, I don't know how to say it because
Thanks
it's,
for
like,
your opinion.
Thank you for your opinion. Like, I feel like there's no way you can tell me that I suck. I mean, like, besides, like, my accolades, but if you just look at the work alone, like, I feel like my work always speaks for itself. Like, I don't really, like, you know, boast or, like, really, like, be cocky or anything like that. But everything, like, every opportunity I've gotten was just through my work. Like I said, like, Rolling Stones just found me and reached out to me. I'm like, bro, that if that doesn't say a lot, like, I don't know what does. You know what I'm saying? Like I always let my work speak for itself, you know? But, like, I just think that, like, no one's opinion would really, like, shatter me if they say something about, like, any of my photos or just, like, me in general. Like, nah.
So then where does that self-doubt stem from?
Self-doubt? Just from me.
But what created that self-doubt? Because when we talked, you were like, you know, sometimes as an artist, you have this doubt, like, can I even make it? Yeah. So where the fuck does that stem from then?
Well, it stems from this, right? Like, let me tell you this. Like, I just founded my own business, and I'm you know, doing shoots, and I'm trying to build more clientele, and I'm trying to, like, build a business by myself. Like, this is just me. I'm employed by myself, and it's, like, you know, like a self-management business. So thinking about it, and I think a lot of that self-doubt just stems from, like, even what happened in the pandemic. Like, all that just gone from, like, a day. So it's like, I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. I hope not. You know, knock on wood, or this plastic. But like, I just think that, like, you know, it's just really, like nerve-wracking, you know, because you really don't know what's coming. It's like exciting, but scary, you know.
Especially, like you said, going month to month, you don't even know what's gonna happen next.
Like, I don't have, like, every single show or thing planned out. It's like things just happen.
That's worse for you because you don't even have control of that.
Yeah, I really have no control. Even when I show up to concerts or events, like all the work that you see, like, none of this stuff is pre-planned out. Like, it's just I go in there, I get what I get, and that's it. Like everything is just, like, kind of like a mystery, you know? It's like everything, like, you just don't know what's gonna happen. You just got to be ready for it.
How do you get that perfect shot, bro? That's
what
I want to know.
That is the thing. It's just luck. Like, you just have to be at the right place and the right time, because you don't know what the artist is gonna do on stage. You don't know what's about to happen. You don't know if they're gonna jump in the crowd. You don't know if they're gonna, like, say something or bring someone out. Like, you literally don't know anything. You know, yeah, you can have like a good camera, you know, your settings and all that kind of stuff, but it's just being in the right place and the right time. Like, I literally don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, you saw my photos for Cardi?
Yeah.
So this is for everyone who, like, wants to know how that situation was, right? Playboy Cardi has a crazy crowd, right? You know, it like, to the point where it's, like, dangerous, like, health-wise. You know what I'm saying? Because people could get crushed and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to be consistently, like, pulling people over the barricade so, you know, they could be safe and stuff like that. Therefore, you know, that pit area is not only for, like, safety for getting people over, but it's for the media. So basically, to reduce, like, a hazard, they only allowed 4 photographers from our media team in the pit, and, like, a couple videographers too. But, like, I wasn't chosen to be in the pit, and it was no big deal or whatever. But, like, I was like, all right. And I was gonna tell myself, like, oh, I'm gonna just watch the show. So the first, like, he just came on, I'm just, like, watching it from the VIP with my girlfriend, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I was like, I'm gonna go out there. So I literally pulled out my camera. I went in the pit where everyone mosh pitting and going crazy. And I was just shooting photos, like, you know, and I was just telling myself, I was like, look, if this shit sucks, if it's ass, like, it is what it is, as long as I tried, you know? And then, bro, he literally posted my work just from shooting photos in the crowd, you know? Like, I could have been anywhere. But, like, you know, I just ran in there, just, you know, just, like, raw dogged it. But yeah.
You weren't afraid of your shit getting messed up?
Nah, I'll fight people, bro. I'm dead ass.
I remember when we went to the Merriam event,
Yeah.
fucking, you know, do you know Drip's photographer, Joe?
No, I don't. Oh, you live in Joe?
Yeah,
I do. Never mind. I take that back.
So,
Yeah.
you know how he was shooting for Drip and fucking Nunez, and then we seen you with your fucking equipment, and I was like, that guy's ready. That guy's prepared. He said, me and him looked at you, and we're like, damn, it really be like that out here. But honestly, yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. I know you say you're passionate about this because you wouldn't do any type of artistry if you weren't passionate about it anyways, right?
Yeah.
So aside from passion, why do you continue to do this if you have that self-doubt? Because just like 21 Savage said, right, you could easily quit. I don't know if you've seen that recent interview
I did.
where he's like, if you're trying to rap and you got this much money, just fucking quit rapping and go buy real estate or some shit, right?
I don't got money. I don't have money.
But
yeah,
it's like, it's easy to quit. You could go find a job. Anybody can go find a job and stop doing this shit. So why do you keep doing it?
I think why I keep doing it is just because of how young I am. Because the thing about it, like, if I had a lot of like things to take care of, right? Like if I was like married, had a family, and I had to like, you know, pay like a mortgage and all this stuff, I wouldn't have leverage to just, you know, go out and do shows and like try to freelance and do all this kind of crazy stuff and network to try to build my business. But like I'm really taking advantage of the time that I have now to see how far I can take it, you know? And I didn't have this kind of mindset or perspective while I was in school, but like now I just got out of school. I'm like, okay, like I'm an adult. So it's like, you know, you kind of think so beyond and broader about it. So I am really passionate about my work, and yes, I do have self-doubt, but I think that like I just have to really take advantage and see how far I can go. Because if I didn't try, I would just be living with like regret or just thinking like, man, like what could have happened. That's why I'm like I said, like I'm writing this to the dirt, like just seeing how far I can go until it ends. So
it's easier to live with oh wells than what ifs.
yeah,
That's something that like my cousin taught me early on, and I feel you 100% on that shit about the fact that like being so young and having that like no responsibilities, right? You could really do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah, literally.
You can really like keep doing the shit, and that's why like I guess to me gaining more responsibility, that scares me in life, right? What scares me the most is I fucking hate commitment, bro. I fucking hate commitment because once you commit to something, like I feel like you got to stick it out, and not say like, you know, say it were to become toxic with anything, you know. And that's just talked about how toxic relationships are more than just with a significant other, but it's anything in your life that doesn't serve you anymore. I feel like having that commitment, it's just kind of, it's there, bro. Like you gotta make sure that something else is okay before you take care of, you know, what you love. And to me, like, this is what I love to do. So at the end of the day, I'm committed to this. I don't know what else I could commit to. So then what is it you hope to accomplish?
My main thing right now is going on tour. Like I want to just shoot for an artist, not just anyone, but like I'm really looking for an artist who is just trying to build their career, you know, build their fan base, and like I really want to like really shape their like public image and stuff like that. You know, like them doing shows, interacting with fans, you know, behind the scenes in the studio or leaking with other people and all that kind of stuff. Like that's what I really want to do. So right now, I'm actually like trying to network with this guy. So next week I'm going to LA, and I'm gonna shoot the show for this artist who is just, you know, starting to like perform. He just sold out his first 2 shows. I'm going to his second show, and I'm really trying to pitch like my vision and all that kind of stuff, and like what I can do. So I'm putting all my cards down on that. Like I'm really paying my own money just to go out there, just to meet him, just to shoot a show. Like I never like pay to travel to shoot anything, but this is my first time doing that. So I'm really hoping to do that. But this is like, but yeah. But this is like someone that like I feel like I can really do a good job for.
Yeah. What kind of music?
All right, so a lot of people don't know this about me, but like yeah, like I'm a hip hop photographer and stuff like that. But like my taste in music is like, if you listen to like what I listen to, you think like, man, like I would not expect that. But basically,
He's about to say K-pop or some shit.
no. So like this artist, right, that I'm gonna shoot next week. You can look him up after this, but his name is Deco, right? Is it recording? Okay, yeah. So his name is Deco, right? He's from Atlanta. He's a producer. He raps, but he's different because he made his own Vocaloid. You know what a Vocaloid is? think of like an AI software like Siri or something like that, and just making it sing and stuff like that. But usually like for most Vocaloids, they're like singing ones, but this one's a rapping one. So basically like he would like make his own music under himself, and then he would use a Vocaloid and make music with that, and then they would do songs together and all that kind of stuff. So imagine going to a rap show, and then you're seeing like not only like a rapper perform, but a Vocaloid on a hologram on stage. That's next level, bro. So like this guy is he's doing his first 2 shows, right? He just did Atlanta last Thursday. He sold that out, and he sold out LA. So I reached out to his manager, and I'm like trying to like pitch my vision and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I have access, like I'm gonna go do it. So I think that like I'm just giving them like a testimony of my work and just see what I can do. Hopefully get a chance to sit down and talk to not only him or just like his manager or whoever, and just really see like what I can do. Because I'm really passionate, and I really see like what they're doing. So yeah, but back to like my music taste. Like I like music like that, like where it's like Vocaloid or like futuristic or like, you know, kind of like quirky in a way, you know.
What inspired this vision, right? This vision of I want to go on tour with a specific artist. I want to help build this brand, because it definitely is easier to go find an artist that is already established. You know, they got the money for sure. So you're kind of, it's almost like, you know, when you have a music manager, that music manager takes that risk with you, because the music manager is investing money into the artist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what inspired this from you?
Before photography, it's always been about music. Like I just like music. But like, you know, I had a favorite artist. At the time, it was like G-Eazy. I was like 14, okay? And then like, yeah.
You were into the white boy that could rap?
Yeah, basically. And then he had a personal photographer, and then like I really like. But right when I saw his work, I knew like I can do that. I felt like a calling that like I'm meant to do that too. So you know, he's been there since like day one with him. And then, like, that's been, like, my main thing, like, since I got into photography. Like I'm not just doing this just to shoot artists. I'm finding that guy or, you know, whoever that I can, like, you know, document their career and, like, you know, build up with them. Like, I don't want to be a guy that's, like, bouncing around show to show, festival to festival, and shooting just everybody. Like, I really want to be associated with one artist and, like, really develop it and, like, work with him and do all kinds of stuff. You know, I feel like that would be really fulfilling to me, to be honest.
You want to be like, what's his name from the Kanye documentary?
Oh, yeah.
Cootie?
Cootie, yeah. Basically like that, yeah. But that's always been, like, my main thing. But now, like, that I've just finished school, like, you know, and I discovered his music through the pandemic. And then I never thought he would be performing or whatever, but it's just like the perfect time, you know? So yeah.
So why not music videos?
Why not music videos? People always say like, oh, why don't you do music videos? You gotta get into music videos.
Because you mentioned
I don't like
to
videos.
Me, you mentioned to me, you're like, I don't want to do music videos.
Yeah. I don't want to do music videos because I just don't want to come up with crazy stuff or like do a production and like, you know, get all these people involved and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just like taking photos. Like, I would just show up to your concert or your event, shoot photos of you, and call it a day. Like, I don't want to, like, I don't have that. I'm like, my head is not there when it comes to, like, literally, like, obviously, if someone's a music video director, they have, like, visions and all that kind of stuff of what they want to do. I do not. I literally don't. Like, no.
Hey, you need to hang out with Cole Bennett a little more, bro. That shit is crazy, because even now, like, after doing the edits for this shit, right, they're minimal edits, but when I do a cool-ass cut, to me, that shit makes me happy. Or, like, when I cut it at the right time, so with the intro, right, I always put a clip at the beginning, and then it cuts to my intro, like, this is Sad Boy Radio. But when I cut it perfectly, that shit makes me so happy that it got me into, you know, the cinematography in movies. I just went to watch Jurassic World, and that shit was, they did such a cool cut where the camera cuts away, but a car pulls up, and it, like, was smooth as fuck. I'm like, that shit was raw as fuck. To me, when I was younger, a year ago, I wouldn't have appreciated that. I would have been like, oh, what? Like, whatever, bro. All right, man. So you say that you don't get starstruck by anybody. You don't get geeked out. But who's the one artist you would want to work with?
It's definitely this artist that I'm going to go shoot on the 4th of July in LA named Deco. Like, I really, like, rock with his music. And the fact that it's going to be, like, his second show. And he's already sold out, like, his first 2. So it's going to be a big deal. Because, I mean, if you think about it, right? You know, any, like, if you guys' like favorite artist that's like big, like Kanye or like Travis, you know how they show photos of like their first couple of shows, and then they're like, you know, it's like a small venue, a small crowd. Like, just to be that guy that's gonna like have those images is so important. So I'm excited for that.
See, My favorite artist, I think, bro, I think it always goes back to August Alsina and Bryson Tiller. I fucking love that R&B shit, especially when it's talking about like the darker concepts, right? My favorite album, that lyric that I pulled, is from this album called This Thing Called Life. And I would suggest you listen to it just because I feel like we kind of got a similar mindset. And that album is one of my favorite albums because it kind of highlights the dark times of being a 20-something-year-old, right? A young 20-year-old where there's that uncertainty of, can I do this? There's that uncertainty of, does this person really love me? That type of shit. And it also comes down to, look at how far I've come. That's the song title of that. And it's just like we were talking about, look at how far I've come from when you first started. You were out here just shooting people.
I feel like a newspaper
at
school.
Well, you were just shooting people like from your page. You were just
Yeah.
shooting people. I know I'm not even gonna say the name, but I recognized this one girl from your page that was you shot pictures for her, and I was like, damn, like you were just doing that. Then you got into music photography, and it's really like, look at how far I've come from where I started. Even that video with Kaylani, bro. That fucking little ass video where she's like, hey, where you at? Where you at?
Bro, that day I had like a really big pimple on my forehead. It was like right here. And then I put like one of those Band-Aids over it. But I was like so nervous. I literally just went there just to go meet her because she was so pretty.
You're
but like
funny as
when I got right in
fuck.
front of her, I told her, I was like, I don't know what to say. And then she was like, it's okay. And I was like, well, can I get a picture? And then she was like, sure. And then that was it. And then I was like, you do a video on my Snapchat.
He said he was 15 years old over here trying to get at Kaylani.
Yeah, for real. I didn't say nothing. I froze up.
Have you ever? See, he did get starstruck over somebody.
But that's not even like work though.
Yeah.
That's not work.
Have you shot for her?
No, never.
No.
Never.
Do you hope to?
Nah, no.
No.
No, no. I don't know why, but no. Like honestly, I think after that, like that album, what was that album called? What that tour she was for? It was like that album where she's like sitting on a plane, but it's like a cartoon kind of like it's like a drawing. It's called like You Should Be Here or Cloud 19 maybe. No, I think it was You Should Be Here. But like after that, like I think I like stopped listening to her music because like she really really blew up.
I know what you're talking about. Honestly, like
I'm kind of like a hipster though when it comes to like an artist blowing up. Like I don't even listen to their music no more. That happened with like Playboy Cardi, Trippie Redd, like when they just blew up. And I was just like, ah. Like I still listen to their music, but I'm not like diehard fan or whatever. Cause like in high school, you know, like SoundCloud era, like I was listening to all those rappers and going to all the concerts too.
no, not me. I was out on that one. I was like, I'm good.
No, I was showing up to everything, bro.
When the SoundCloud era happened, I was like, I don't like this music.
Wow,
It's
bro.
not for
I
me.
was all about it, bro.
I didn't listen to X or Juice until like they died. So yeah, no, because honestly, all that controversy around X all the time, I was like, I'm good.
I remember in high school, right? Like it was Juice WRLD's first video on Lyrical Lemonade. It was All Girls Are the Same, and my friend Ezra showed me the video. I was like, yeah, he's alright. I didn't think he was gonna be that good, but then he dropped Lucid Dreams, and I was like, yo, he's fire. And then he just like, I didn't know he was gonna be that much of a big star, but he literally accomplished so much, like within like 2 years. And I'm just so proud that like I got a photo of him before he died. Not like right before he died, but like you know what I'm saying, like at Summer Smash, and that photo was like a banger. But basically, like I just think like that's why it's important to like shoot artists in general because you know you never know like when they'll pass, you know, because at some point like we're all gonna die. Not to be dark, but like you know what I'm saying, like it's just stuff like that is important.
Just being able to, you know, just like you say, capture those moments, and what would it be? I wouldn't even say memorialize them in a sense. Memorialize them, you know, making sure that that legacy lives on. That's what I always talk about, is that I want to be remembered for this shit. I just had an interview, like an online interview with this place called Shout Out LA, and that was my main thing, is like I'm afraid to be forgotten, low key, like. Yeah, I'm afraid to be forgotten. I want people to be able to look back on this shit and be like, yeah, that dude, he dropped some gems right there. Or just, you know, being able to make people comfortable enough to talk about the shit that's going on with them.
You know, yeah, that whole idea of just leaving a legacy too. Like, I didn't really think about like doing that type of stuff with my work. I think like everything that I'm doing right now, it's more of just like personal fulfillment. Like, I just think that like, you know, this is just something that I felt a calling to do, and I was just personally interested too. Like I didn't think about like how my work would affect other people, like what people would think of it. And I honestly, like, I'm just blown away because a lot of people like, you know, use my pictures for like their profile pictures or their like lock screens or like they ask me a lot of questions, or they like recognize me and they say like, "Oh, what's up, Steven?" Like it's crazy how like I would like sometimes just be outside and like just people would just like call me out. Like it's just crazy.
Do you know them? Like when they like no, they just recognize
The
you.
craziest thing that happened was when I did Lala for Rolling Stone. I felt like it was the craziest experience because not only I was doing the work, right? When I would walk through the crowd and like through everything, people would be like, "Oh, congratulations," like because I was like doing the work for them, and Rolling Stones like people were saying like, "Oh, Steven," like it was just nuts. Even at Summer Smash too, like it's just crazy.
Do you still do the work for Rolling Stone?
Yeah, I'm gonna be back with next month for Lala, but they hit me up here and there. Like I did Dirk's show for them at the United Center, but yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, like it's just crazy that like I didn't think that like I would. I mean, I'm not saying I'm leaving a legacy. Who knows if I might, but like that's just. I don't think that's part of my goals. Like I feel like it's just like I don't know. Like you're doing this to leave a legacy, right?
I wouldn't say I'm doing this to leave a legacy. I do this because I enjoy it. I do this like I said at the end of the day, like you're able to make people feel certain emotions, and you're able to make people feel related to, right? Because at the end of the day, that's why we all make music. That's why we all listen to music. Mm-hmm. It relates to what we're going through. And it relates to what the person was going through when they made this shit. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I pulled that lyric, that dude really felt like, damn, why am I even doing this shit? The outcome of my income is that the dough isn't coming. And that's how artists feel all the time, is that like, man, this shit's not good enough to make me money. Why the fuck am I doing it? On that note, man, I did want to ask you one last question. And what is it that would make you feel fulfilled with everything you do?
Yeah, I always be thinking about that, but I think right now it's going on tour. I feel like that's the next step in my career and stuff like that. But I feel like every time, like when I fulfill it, there's always something else that I'm like, okay, now I want to do this, now I want to do that. Because in the beginning, like I got into music photography. That was one step, right? And I was doing that. I was like, okay, now I want to do Lollapalooza. I did that. Then I was like, now what? And I was like, okay, now I just want to go on tour.
Low key, that's how I've been feeling lately. It's like. Once I got that King of Nunez interview, I was like, what do I do next? What's the next big interview?
Just climbing,
You don't even realize it because sometimes the answers aren't even directly there. They're not presented to you. It's until that opportunity comes and it's like, I want that. Let me go get that real quick. It really be like that out here, bro. Shit. But on that note, man, I wanted to leave you with, Bryson Tiller, keep doing what you're doing. There's in the song, he has I think it's his grandma, and she calls him saying that, she loves him and that, keep doing what you're doing because it matters and it's gonna mean something one day. Maybe the answer isn't clear right now, and, I pulled that because of your self-doubt. It doesn't seem like you got that much self-doubt, bro. You misled me a little bit.
For
but
real? No,
nah.
Yeah.
It seems like you got a good head on your shoulders and that you know what you want to do and that you're on the right track, bro. At the end of the day, like we said, we're young as fuck, bro. 22, like.
And it's hard figuring everything out. Like, I'm really just going on the internet every day, just figuring stuff out.
I think that part of the journey is honestly one of the best, right? Is just like, yeah, it's draining. Yeah, you don't want to do it. A lot of the times I don't want to get up and like go fucking at it. But at the end of the day, like, once you're done with it, it feels so fulfilling to see the final product.
Yeah. So. Definitely.
I appreciate you coming through, bro. I had a dope time talking to you, and honestly, I feel like we're definitely gonna chop it up more even after this, future events. So I really hope to do a lot of work with you, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, that's gonna be all for today. Thank you for watching. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.